Don't go anywhere. You won't believe what happens next. He immediately called in a taxi he had prepped earlier while old BS truck zoomed in. Suddenly, a truck accelerated towards them. Unable to escape, Old B called for backup. Will realized the man wasn't Old B. Just then, to avoid the unexpected situation, the fake Old B crashed the taxi into the following car, giving Will the chance to escape. With his mind racing, he dialed Rachel again, but at that moment, a silver-haired guy who drove the truck to chase him showed up. He appeared opposite Will, urged him upstairs, then left, with Will following into the elevator. Just as Will was about to ask, he was kicked. The man quickly pressed the stop button and hushed Will. While Will was still confused, the old man whipped out a bag of chips and threw them into Will's lap before swiftly snatching his belt. He took out the pen and the shoes tracking device, put them in a chip bag, and half the NSA signals vanished immediately. The old man then took Will up to the rooftop, revealing that he was the real Old B. However, Will's tracking devices weren't fully cleared, and the NSA helicopter arrived shortly after. Will tossed his watch per Old BS order, then fled to the 20th floor via stairs. But the NSA agents tracked him through the satellite, and just as he panicked, Will knocked on the door pretending to be a service worker, only to find himself cornered by NSA agents inside. Will realized his clothes still had hidden trackers before the young couple. In a frenzy, Will tore off his clothes, ignoring the old lady. In just his boxers, he sprinted to the balcony and tossed his pants down. Just then, a group of NSA agents burst in, but Will had climbed down the next floor via the railing. He was not called a Superman actor for nothing. With ease, he vaulted over and jumped down another level, Will donned pajamas, and rushed out, only to be trapped in a storage room by numerous NSA agents, with the door about to be smashed open. With no escape, Will made a torch from a towel, igniting storage room alcohol and instantly setting off hotel alarms. Miraculously, the unreliable US Fire Brigade arrived at lightning speed, forcing NSA agents to withdraw, and Will was fortunately saved. He was escorted by the police into the ambulance, but as soon as the vehicle left the hotel, Will snatched the officer's gun, forcing the ambulance to halt. In pajamas and barefoot, he sprinted down the tunnel, moments from collision with NSA agents, dove into the oncoming traffic like an Olympic athlete, forcing a car to stop at gunpoint, and seized the chaos to slip into a maintenance entrance. Escaping the agents, Will sprinted through the maintenance tunnel into the fabled sewer, with trouble surely looming. Before he could catch his breath, an NSA sports car guided by satellite rushed over. A suicide crash forced Will against the wall. Like Superman, he climbed up via the maintenance ladder. A team of NSA agents jumped out of their car, but almost got taken out by an oncoming truck, helplessly watching Will slip out of sight moment. Finally, they crawled out of the manhole and surrounded a trembling black youth in nightgown at the tunnel corner. But when they pulled off his hat, subtitles, they found it wasn't Will. Next day, Carla, taking out trash, followed her puppy to the storage room when Will grabbed her. Will explained to Carla that the house had been bugged by the NSA and asked if she could take her son back to Philadelphia to say return after resolving issues, when Will suddenly thought his son took Dana's stuff. So, he concealed himself in the Nana's car and had her pick up his son, who had not yet arrived at school, along the way. His son then handed back to him a broken tape recorder as well as a video cassette. With his retrieved items, Will planned to meet Rachel to discuss the strategy, but stumbled upon an NSA surveillance vehicle outside her house. He reported to the police that the car might carry drugs. Shortly, those in the surveillance car got the tip-off and retreated to avoid detection. Once the surveillance vehicle was gone, Will reappeared and marked the trash can in front of Rachel's house. He slipped into his home, finding Rachel had been killed by the NSA, no time to grieve. Suddenly, Will found Rachel's floor covered with his clothes, clearly blaming him for her death. This way, he'd have nowhere to hide from the police. The next day, Old B showed up at the docks, and Will was prepared. Will knocked on Old B's car door successfully and told him that Rachel had been murdered as he entered. Angry, Old B slammed on the brakes. He hadn't planned on getting involved in Will's issues with the NSA. Subtitles, knowing Rachel died unjustly, he vowed to punish her killer, so he took Will back due to low blood sugar. At the supermarket looking for snacks, Will seized the chance to use a payphone to contact Carla's friend. He predicted the papers would soon accuse him of killing Rachel, to avoid his wife's further misunderstandings. So he asked his friend to tell Carla that the real killer had another wife. Old B.'s daughter didn't want to hear it either. Both thought a payphone could avoid surveillance, unaware NSA tactics were everywhere. They swiftly located the supermarket via the call, then checked its surveillance footage. They not only spotted Old B on camera, but also tracked their car via satellite. Meanwhile, oblivious, Old B was taking Will to his secret house. It looked like a giant birdcage made of copper mesh, with no phones or cables, blocking all radio signals from the outside, completely cut. Old B decoded the tape and realized it featured the entire assassination of nearsighted Senator White by the NSA, and Will finally understood why he was being chased. Old B then hacked the NSA database, uncovering the identity of the mastermind, Old Ray. Just then, alarms blared throughout the base as Old B realized the NSA was at the door, and he quickly pocketed. He activated the self-destruct system and swiftly led Will and his cat, Daisy, out the back door.